Hello, everyone. It's me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to Catechism for Kids. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Have you ever been in a room that's super quiet? So quiet you can almost hear your own heartbeat. Today, we're going to talk about a very special and very quiet miracle that happened a long time ago in a small village called Knock, in a beautiful green country called Ireland. Imagine it's the year 1879. It was a tough time for the people in Ireland. There wasn't a lot of food, and many families were struggling and feeling sad. But one rainy evening, something amazing happened that filled everyone with hope. 15 people, from young kids to grandparents, were outside their small parish church when they saw a brilliant heavenly light. And there, standing against the wall of the church, were three beautiful figures. It was our Blessed Mother, Mary, dressed in white with a golden crown on her head. Her hands were raised in prayer, and her eyes were looking up toward heaven. On one side of her was Saint Joseph, her beloved husband, looking at her with great respect. And on the other side was Saint John the Evangelist, dressed like a bishop holding a book. And it looked like he was preaching a sermon, but no sound came out. But that's not all. In the center of this incredible vision was an altar, and on the altar stood a little lamb, just like the Lamb of God we hear about at Mass. Behind the lamb was a cross, and flying all around the altar were beautiful angels. It was like a little window into heaven had opened up right there in Knock. Now, here's the most interesting part. For the 2 hours that this vision appeared, not a single word was spoken. It was completely silent. You might be wondering, if no one spoke, what was the message? Well, that's the beautiful mystery of Our Lady of Knock. The message was in the vision itself. Think about it. Mary's silent presence was a way of saying, I am with you. God has not forgotten you, even in your sadness. Sometimes when a friend is upset, the best thing you can do is just sit with them quietly. You don't always need words to show you care. Mary was doing just that for the people of Ireland. She was being a quiet, comforting mother. This reminds us of a very important verse from the Bible in Psalm 46. It says, Be still and know that I am God. The vision at Knock teaches us to take time to be still and quiet. In our noisy world, it's so important to find moments of silence where we can just listen with our hearts. Prayer isn't always about talking. Sometimes it's about listening for God's quiet whispers of love. Now, let's look closer at the most important part of the vision, the Lamb on the altar. Who does the Lamb of God remind you of? That's right, Jesus. In the Bible, Jesus is called the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. Seeing the Lamb on an altar, surrounded by adoring angels, was a powerful reminder of the Holy Mass. This vision showed that the Eucharist, where we receive Jesus, is our greatest hope. It connects heaven and earth. When we go to Mass, it's not just us in the church. The vision of the angels worshiping the Lamb shows us that all of heaven, all the saints, and all the angels are there with us, worshiping Jesus too. Isn't that incredible? And where was Mary in all of this? She was standing near the altar, leading everyone's attention to Jesus, the Lamb of God. That is Mary's biggest mission. She always points us to her Son. Just as she stood silently beside the altar at Knock, she stands with us and gently guides us to the Eucharist, which is the source of all our strength and peace. That is the role of Mary as intercessor. She sits at the side of her Son and brings to him every need that we ask her to help us with. Every time we call out to Mary with our prayers and needs, she calls out to her Son and says, Jesus, just like our mom would do to us. Jesus, like any good son, must run to his mother's side and do whatever she asks of him. That is the role of Mary, and that is why she is powerful. Our Lady of Knock does the same thing. She does not say a word, because our focus is not meant to be on her. Our focus is meant to be on what is behind her, the Lamb and the altar. Mary's whole life and mission is to bring us closer to her Son. Mary knows, like any good mother, that in her silence, she tells us everything. No matter what our family is like, what country we are from, or what culture we are brought up in, Mary speaks to all of us by saying nothing. Mary's yes brings Jesus into the world, and he is the source of all mercy. Therefore, mercy and Mary have a unique and intense connection. It is only when we are silent like Mary that we place ourselves in the perfect position to receive all that her Son desires to give us. It is then that we are exposed to accepting His mercy and love in a way that will forever change us. Mary tells us to always focus on her Son and all He has to offer us. Primarily, He wishes to shower us with mercy, life, hope, and forgiveness. And the fount that all of these things flow from is the cross. For us today, this mystery continues at each and every Mass across the world. Mary's silence points us to her Son, to the fact that He is with us and that He is not going anywhere. Our Lady of Knock is a beautiful guide to the Mass. So what can we learn from this silent apparition? First, that God is always with us, especially when times are tough. His presence is a quiet, steady comfort. Second, silence is a powerful form of prayer. We can learn to be still and listen for God in our hearts. And third, the Eucharist is the center of our faith. It's where Jesus gives Himself to us and fills us with hope. Now, I have a few fun ideas for you and your family to bring the message of Knock into your own home. First, you could try creating a silent skit. Get your siblings or friends together and act out the Knock apparition. You can't use any words, so you'll have to tell the story with just your actions, showing Mary, Joseph, St. John, and the Lamb. It's a great way to understand how a message can be shared without speaking. Another wonderful idea is to build a small home altar or a prayer corner. Find a little table and put a cross on it, maybe a small statue or picture of Mary, and a candle. Make sure a grown-up is always there to help with candles. You can make this your special quiet place. Spend a few minutes there each day, just being still and silent with God, just like the people who saw the vision at Knock. And finally, you could ask your parents to take you to a church for Eucharistic adoration. That's a special time, when the Eucharist is placed on the altar for everyone to pray in front of. It's a beautiful way to be present with Jesus in silence. It's just like Mary and the saints were at Knock. It's like having your own quiet visit with Jesus. The apparition at Knock is a special gift. It reminds us that even when heaven seems quiet, God's love is always there, gentle, powerful, and full of peace. Our Lady of Knock, Queen of Ireland, is a mother of hope who silently shows us the way to her Son, the Lamb of God. Spend time with Mary. Ask for her prayers. Be silent with her and watch as she brings you to her Son, the source of mercy. This is her mission, to aid us in seeing just how close her Son is to all of us. Like any good mother, she desires to help her Son accomplish what is most important to him, and that is having us realize that He is here. Thank you so much for joining me for Catechism for Kids today. I hope this story fills your heart with peace and encourages you to find quiet moments to spend with Jesus. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our next faith-filled adventure. Until next time, God bless you and your family. Bye for now. Take care and stay healthy.